Hello and welcome to the No Frills unboxing of Dungeon Dwellers role-playing. I am Joseph, aka Reaper Wolf, and I will be your tour guide today. This is going to be a very low-tech, kind of low-key, very low-impact, kind of sort of overview of what comes in this awesome box. I am Dungeon Dwellers author, designer, and loudest and most vocal advocate, I guess. So anyways, let's get right to it. So, give me a second here as I shuffle over. That creaking you hear is not my bones. That is just my old ancient office chair. So, here is the monster. I'll try to keep this into focus here. I'm not particularly great at this. But anyways, here is the beast. As you can see, it is an absolutely titanic, absolutely huge box. Beautiful cover by Izzy Talon Collier, and our backers should all be getting their goodies at this point. Everything should basically be in the mail, as far as I understand. So, anyways, real quick, like here, let's crack this open by the power of Grayskull, Sword of Omens. Neat little letter opener from my mom that she gave me a number of years ago. I'm one of the few gamer nerds that doesn't own an armory. I don't have lots of medieval weapons and chainmail laying around, etc. I figure I'm nerdy enough on my own. I don't need such affectations. But if you're into that stuff, that's cool. Anyways, so here is this absolutely enormous piece. Look at these last little bits and scraps of plastic off of here. There we go. And here we are, folks. 4 years in the making. Reaper finally has its own RPG. Opens from the side. Oh, first view of all the goodies. It is a nicely packed box, but it actually has nice little foamy inserts to keep things from rattling around and wrecking your really pretty books. Here is a spiffy little dice bag / token bag. Faux leather. Very nice. It doesn't sit open, so you can't use it as a dice, as like a little dice tray, but it is pretty darn cool. Feels nice. Drawstring. Next, these are the inexpensive default fortune point tokens. You use these to save your bacon in gameplay. They were bribed to the game master to not kill my character, but they have a lot of tactical uses as well. Rerolls, seizing initiative, etc. Next. Ooh, these are the premium dice, or premium fortune points. Fortune points, as I mentioned, are very cool, and so wouldn't it be nice to have some nice metal tokens to represent them in gameplay? Now, full disclosure, you're going to need probably typical size group, etc. Each player having between 1 and 3 in a given situation. You're probably going to want to buy an extra set or two to make sure you have plenty, but that's why you have this really nice little pouch to store them in. They are made of metal, zinc, I believe, or some alloy. They are two-sided. They are burnished and soft edge, so you're not going to rip up your battle mat as they slide around, and they have a lovely finish. These are absolutely awesome. So I'm going to put those into the little baggie. Okay, we pull the inserts out, and out come the goods. Ooh, that's right, I forgot. There's also a map at the bottom. Ooh, let's get this box out of the way. Onto the floor it goes, and here's the goods. Hill's Edge Province Setting Guide, Denizens of the Dungeon, Volume 1, first of many, many. Side note, don't tell anyone, but I'm working on a little 20-page addendum to it. A couple new monsters that we want to sneak out before we do a full volume. It'll basically be like a 1.5. Game Master's Vault, this is the thickest of all of our books produced, full of all kinds of 40 years of my accumulated game mastering experience and advice. And of course, the book that almost everyone's going to have, The Player's Guide. Okay, and at the very bottom, we have this absolutely stunning map of the Hill's Edge province. Okay, cool. Let's crack some books open and we'll thumb through them real fast so that you all can see it. Okay, out comes Excalibur again. I don't want to gouge at my books, but they got to be opened and beat up at some point, right? They're not going to stay pristine forever. If you want pristine, get a PDF. It's Speaking of which, our PDF of the Player's Guide is available on drive-thru absolutely right now. And I encourage you to snag it because it's priced to move at $10. $10 for a 200-page PDF. And that is a pretty good deal, let me tell you. Okay. We crack all these open here. Okay. Now comes Denizens. Beautiful cover art. And full cover art as well, but we'll go into that in a moment. And Game Master's Vault. It was interesting coming up with names for all these books. Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, blah, blah, blah. Well, we have Game Masters, not Dungeon Masters. That's the other game. And nothing wrong with that. It's totally cool. It's just what we call ours. And last but not least, our Player's Guide. We're going to go through the Player's Guide first. We'll give a quick thumbs through here, basically. So green interior, very cool, and nice full color hardcover pages. I am proud to report that this book actually has some Jim Holloway art. In addition to the other talented artists, Jim Holloway, Paranoia fame, and Tales from the Floating Vagabond, his art sat in Ron's folders inside of his files for many a year, and we finally got his work in front of you guys. Nice bright red bookmark. Interestingly, Ron didn't even know that they were going to add a bookmark. They just kind of brought it up one day like, so what color do you want the bookmark? And he was like, I don't know, red? So I would have preferred green, but you know what? This scarlet looks really nice. Anyways, that's our Player's Guide, looking very sexy and cool. Game Master's Vault, again, like I said, the thickest of them all. Game Master's Vault and the Denizens books, both of these will be made available as PDFs very, very, very soon. Okay, real quick, again, green interior, nice crimson or scarlet bookmark. There's a lot of stuff in here, including sanctuary rules, variant rules, tons of magic items, hazards, threats, you name it. This is the Game Master's book. This is what I think people are really going to enjoy because there's a lot of good stuff in here. Lastly, well, not lastly, the Denizens book, green interior. You're gonna get sick of that green interior eventually. No, you're not. It looks awesome. Anyways, this is awesome. It starts off with an absolutely amazing little essay from our good friend Reaper Ron Hawkins, and he actually talks about kind of like where it all kind of came from and stuff. It's actually really cool because it all came from Dungeon Dwellers, right? There's even a really cool piece of art that I've never actually even seen until this book came along. And I even give you rules on how to create your own monsters and modify monsters, because guess what? There should be no stock monsters in any role-playing game. You should just basically use the resources available to you and create new ones. You want to create a zombie minotaur? You want to create, a fire-breathing chimera that lives in the sewers? You can do that. And I give you some pretty good guidelines here. Lastly, well, nearly lastly, I'll do the map last. This is the Hills Edge Province book. The Hills Edge Province book is the default mini setting for a much larger world called Avalor in the continent of Aden. And this is our green and pleasant land. This is our England, for lack of a better term. And this is where they love adventurers. There's lots to do. It's an absolutely expansive part of the world. It touches on the nearby other civilized parts of the world. This is called the Civilized West. Everything east of West Barrow Hills is basically considered the uncivilized East. So that's that. Now for the really spiffy map. This was not printed on really skinny paper. It was not printed on poster paper. This was printed on like a vellum or something. I'm not sure, but it's really thick. And let's see here. I'll crack this bad boy open. It is two-sided. It is two-sided, as you can see here. And it shows you a lot of places and things to do. That was one of the key elements when I was working on the Hills Edge Provinces is I went through and I made sure there was something to look at, somebody to meet, and something to do in every one of these little burgs. And there is a back part of it. Here we go. And then this actually shows you the fiefs, the domains that are made up of the Hills Edge Province, which is just a small part of the country of Estonia. and there are other portions, there are other provinces, but anyways, we actually have an entrenched nobility, so there is feudalism in this part of the world. So there are I hate to use the word social betters, but there are people in control of things. So this isn't just a freewheeling frontier. We also had, and I forgot to grab these, so please forgive me, as I have to disappear over to the other side of the room, and I have to dig out two other rather important products. Now, these were not part of the core box set, unfortunately. This box is heavy enough on its own, but people are receiving their stuff. And one of the things they're receiving is their Adventure Compendium, which is a bunch of adventures that I wrote, including one from Bobby Jackson, our esteemed sculptor. And basically, this is a bunch of adventures. Pardon the beeping. That is my air quality meter as I shoot my mouth off here. Inevitably, carbon dioxide levels rise a little bit. So there's that. This actually includes the Fortress of Peril, which includes an absolutely enormous map of a mega dungeon of sorts. And lastly, truly lastly, is our Game Master's screen. This thing is bulletproof. It is fourfold. It is absolutely huge. Awesome big graphic on the front. Nice letters. Cool graphic. So here you have our Game Master's screen. As I mentioned, it is bulletproof. Sorry for the slight interruption. This, as I said, this is a kind of a no frills. I received a phone call. I took care of it, no problem. Anyways, so here is the bulletproof Game Master screen. Definitely gives kind of a defense +9 kind of a bonus situation. Not everyone loves Game Master screens. Some people don't use them. I love Game Master screens because they put up a barrier between me and the players, and that way you can't see my notes or my dice rolls. Anyways, we have a bunch of charts. Now, this is not the densest GM screen I've ever seen or created, but it is the first one I've ever had published. There's a little bit, just not a lot, there's a little bit of space down here, and I don't think it hurts anything. The only thing this is lacking, and full disclosure, is we didn't have a way to put the experience and treasure guidelines on the GM screen. There just wasn't enough room. We would have to have made it like 5 or even 6-fold for it to happen. Anyways, so that's the long and the short of it, dear viewers. That's what we got going on. We've got our gigantic number of books. Hey, when are these going to be available as PDF? Damn soon, really damn soon. Player's Guide is already up. I have it on good authority that Ron will be posting the others very, very soon. We have an active Discord community. Our forums aren't as busy as I'd like them to be, but I monitor both, and I actively engage anybody who asks questions or has comments or whatever. We welcome you, and we would love to talk to you further about our endeavor. This is just the first of many books to come. We have a player's expansion. We have a magic book in the play. Although Ron and I are fighting over the title of it. But, you know, married couples do that, I guess. We're not married. Come on. Anyways, so basically, we have like a massive campaign guide that we'd like to produce, and lots of little accessory campaign guides for, you know, Telluria and Breon, basically all the areas around it, and then of course expanding it to areas like Dreadmere and Ritterlich and Taltos and the Savage South, where we basically have like Malapungo and also the Brinewind and all the really cool piratey areas. So anyways, this is our touchstone. This is our milestone. This right here is our beginning. This is, as Ron likes to refer to it, as our tent stake. We've got it in the ground. We are here. We are determined to find a place in the marketplace so that we can all fight over WotC's crumbs. So anyways, more to come. Stay tuned, and I look forward to engaging with you all on Discord in the days, weeks, months, and hopefully years ahead. Take care. Bye.